All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's just get right into it because as usual, there is a lot of misinformation online and a lot of videos that are going to bore you to death with the 20-minute to 30-minute rant videos that are basically speculating about everything that's going on. But I'm here to tell you guys that there is a very high probability that Hytale might end up getting resurrected from the dead or finished, kind of. There's some parameters here. Basically, there's the CEO of Hypixel, which, as far as I understand, he ended up making a lot of money when he ended up selling the Hytale IP to Riot Games. And as far as my understanding, Riot Games just kind of said, hey, you guys do you, whatever. Scope got out of hand, things got out of hand because of a lack of proper management on the team's part. And suffice to say, I think Riot dumped them and just canceled the project outright. So the CEO had a couple back and forth tweets where he was talking about how he was kind of interested in the idea of getting the game completed. And then ultimately has finally said that he is planning on 100% dedicating to it. So the most recent message was, to clarify, it would require a lot less money to get to do something that could be released into very early access with temporarily removed features. We could get the community involved as soon as possible in modding, bug reports, feature requests, crowdfunding with early access, and find ways to use shared source and open source with cash bounties to speed up production and keep the team relatively small. So to kind of pick that apart, as far as the business side, you guys got to understand the game has to be profitable. This guy isn't just doing this out of charity, okay? He made a crap ton of money because he ended up selling Hytale in the first place. And let's be real, even if he ends up spending a lump sum to buy the IP back from Riot, which Riot hasn't commented yet, hopefully they do, hopefully they sell it to him. But the fact still remains that this game has had 5 or 6 years to cook under Riot's cash umbrella. So if he can end up buying the game, there's quite a bit of content that should already be fleshed out and finished by now. So he's kind of making a pretty good deal for himself. Not that that's what his intention was originally, but him buying it back when it's kind of already close to the finish line. I would assume it's close to the finish line. It might not be. It might still be a few years away. But the main thing that ended up killing Hytale was the new game engine. I've talked about this before, but to give a quick summary again, in case this is your first time tuning in, Hytale was originally going to be developed on Java, which totally makes sense because the developers behind it have, they're part of Hypixel. They've made nothing but Minecraft mods. They've never had experience making a full video game before. So it makes sense that they would stick with what they're familiar with. Unfortunately, when Riot got their hands on Hytale, they told them, nuh-uh, you're gonna create a new game engine from scratch so that the game can end up launching on console and being full crossplay and all of this other stuff, which is cool, but it's something that the team wasn't experienced with, and creating a new game engine from scratch is probably one of the most difficult things that you can do for video games in general. There's a reason why Bethesda just keeps recycling their old dated game engine for Starfield and Elder Scrolls and whatever else. That's a whole other topic that we're not even going to unpack today. But my point being is it takes roughly 3, 4, 5 years to create a new game engine, on top of the fact that you have to continually add content to the game and work features out and so on and so forth. So long story short, what this CEO is expecting to do with Hytale is revert it back to basics. So he's going to go back to the old game engine with a very small team that would know what they're doing and kind of limit their scope, tear out features that are way too far away from actually being developed. And generally speaking, his management skills are what has me confident that this will actually see Hytale get done. Because as we've already seen over the years of blog posts from the team that was working on Hytale, clearly they had no idea what they were doing. Those blog posts were terrible. They started out pretty good, and then after a while it was just, hey guys, here's what's going on. Nothing, it's just the same as the last blog post. But anyway, let's go on a little bit further. He goes on to say, please, this is important. Keep your expectations extremely low, not realizing the only expectation we have is a modern version of Minecraft. Minecraft still, to this day, has no competition, and it pisses me off like you wouldn't believe. The fact that we haven't had a AAA Minecraft ripoff that just comes in and takes all the money because it's just a better game is infuriating, because Minecraft can kind of just do whatever they want. And I love Minecraft, don't get me wrong, but they can just kind of coast on the fact that nobody else is even attempting it. All Hytale needs to be is just Minecraft with better direction. And it looked like that's what it was, with dungeons, loot, grinding. Hell yeah, give it to me. A more adventure-focused game instead of spending all your time in a crafting UI and building villages for no reason. Anyways, he says, keep your expectations extremely low, because usually when large companies shut down a project like this, the chances of revival are next to impossible. Yes, I have made a decision and will give my best to save Hytale, even if it's a 1% chance. It's the least I can do to the same community that gave me the opportunity to be where I am today. I will reach out. However, remember, it will take a while. Give it some time. It will take months. I like how he's being open about this, because most people think Hytale's being revived and they get all hyped about it. The process of buying back an IP, going through the legal system and all of that stuff, yeah, this is going to take months, if not years, to end up getting the rights in the first place. And keep in mind, they can't slowly work on Hytale while all of this is going on. He has to get the rights to the game, then he can set up a team, and then they can start development while still getting people used to the tools and stuff. Anyways, he says he'll share as much as possible as they go through the process. I did want to end up saying this as a video just to get it out there that Hytale can possibly come back, but I want you guys to curb your expectations instead of the clickbait channels out there that are making 20-minute rant videos that don't know anything about the business side of video games. And that's the important thing that I'm picking apart here, because it's something that I've always been interested in behind the scenes, is looking at how the business actually ends up approaching these situations. Because as soon as the topic is about money, that's when you start getting the answers. I mean, in most cases, you don't get answers because they're trying to hide the fact that they're trying to make money. But the fact that he's got realistic goals and talks about getting the game into early access as soon as possible, even if it's missing a million features, hell yeah, sign me up. I will gladly buy into that. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I do genuinely hope that Hytale can actually end up releasing, because I think that Hytale still has the potential to be a game changer, just because the economy, or lack thereof, of Minecraft type games is ridiculous. Like, we've got some indie games that, you know, kind of have carved out their own niche, but we don't have a Minecraft competitor yet. And that's just weird.